what you say. Then again, they can shape how you think. And then eventually they can teach you how to behave, or they can demand that you behave a certain way. We've seen this. We've seen this with COVID lockdowns. We've seen this with big tech tyranny. Now we're seeing it rear its ugly head again. I want to remind you of something that Bill Gates said just a couple of weeks ago. This is video clip number 5. This is Bill Gates on the issue, this notion of the First Amendment of free speech. Video clip 5, por favor, Gabe.
Every country struggling to find that boundary. The U.S. is a tough one because, you know, we have the notion of the First Amendment. And so what are the exceptions, you know, like yelling fire in a theater, you know, and because you're anonymous online, you know, it can be worse. I do think over time, you know, with things like deep fakes, most of the time you're online, you're going to want to be in an environment where the people are truly identified. That is, they're connected to a real world identity that you trust instead of just people saying whatever they want. And so the idea of provenance, who sent me this email, was that really them? You know, we're going to have systems and behaviors that we're more aware of. Okay, who says that? Who created this?
This guy is evil. I really don't know what else to say. This guy's evil. Did any of you elect him? This notion of the First Amendment, right? It's a little harder to get control of Americans as opposed to the Africans that I'd like to vaccinate, you know, for experiment purposes. The Gates Foundation. Who elected this guy? Nobody elected this guy. But these elites, they fear the First Amendment, and they fear, obviously, the Second Amendment. It's another reason that the left wants to be able to take away our firearms. These people are absolutely terrifying, and these people are absolutely dangerous. And listen, I don't use that word flippantly, but if you're an American that doesn't believe in the First Amendment and you believe that you have the right to shut down someone else's speech, I'm sorry, you're anti-American. It's really that simple. Let's go on to AOC. This is AOC. So there you have essentially an elitist that's telling you that the First Amendment is just a notion. Let's go on to AOC. This is clip number 4. This is a politician who used to be a bartender who apparently now is worth tons of money after she got to Congress. Go figure. Video clip number 4, por favor. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, otherwise known as AOC. Let's run it.
You know, I do think that several members of Congress in some of my discussions have brought up media literacy because that is a part of what happened here. And we're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation. It's one thing to have differing opinions, but it's another thing entirely to just say things that are false. And so that's something that we're looking into.
Remember when AOC said that Trump was putting kids in cages at the border? She never mentioned that Barack Obama was doing it, and actually Trump stopped his policy of doing it. Frankly, I have no problem with kids being separated from adults at the border since they're breaking into our country and invading our country. And since our Customs and Border Patrol have to figure out if these are parents or smugglers or sex traffickers trying to bring kids in to use them or just trying to use kids to get into the country. That's the only reason why adults are separated from children until they can figure that out. But remember when AOC was lying about it and she did this video like she was crying and weeping and the place was totally empty? So I wonder who's going to check her when it comes to disinformation. Now, I want to take you to another video. This is Representative Thomas Massie. This occurred earlier this week. A lot of people think this is a non-issue for the election, but I think this is a major issue. This is Thomas Massie questioning the FBI and wondering where the heck basically is some evidence regarding J6. He confirms that the FBI does not have any footage that was captured by the DNC security cameras for January 6th. And this is a new scandal. Julie Kelly posted this and talked about it on her X account. But this is absolutely insane. Where's that pipe bomber? Apparently, the FBI deleted video of this pipe bomber. Let's go ahead and roll that video clip number 3. Por favor, Gabe.
We've got FBI's failed investigation of the January 6th pipe bomb. Are you looking into that at all?
We've had discussion, I know, Congressman, about it, and we have followed up, and I can speak to you about that.
I mean, they keep saying it's an ongoing investigation, but they've got no leads, no suspects. They've lost information. They've lost evidence. They can't find evidence. Secret Service deleted all of its texts on January 6th. Steve D'Antuono, the guy in charge of the Washington, D.C. field office, says that the cell phone data that could have been used to find the bomber was corrupted. And now we just found out, I found out from another inspector general, and I want to submit this for the record.
Objection.
Yeah. I asked him, do you have the footage, the video footage? Does the FBI have the video footage of the DNC on January 6th? And he tells me when he asked the FBI for the video footage, they don't even have video footage of the DNC that we know was created on January 6th. It's almost as if they don't want to know. Can you rule out that there were any confidential human sources involved in the whole pipe bomb thing on January 6th?
I'm not. I'd have to go back, Congressman, and refresh myself on what information we've gathered to date on that. I don't know as I sit here.
Okay, that would be a huge revelation.
But I'm happy to come.
I think we should get that and get it public before the election. I yield back.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. These people are. This is election interference. This is censorship. This is trying to stop people's ability to be able and peaceably assemble. The vast majority of people on January 6th were peaceably assembling. Remember, Trump gave them that order to peaceably assemble. There's more information now, a document that's been leaked with Trump giving Capitol Police or whatever, or Nancy Pelosi that was in charge. Listen, bring the National Guard in. I want to make sure this place is safe. I want to make sure this place is secure. But what the FBI wants to do is they want to silence you. They're part of the deep state, so many of them. And I'm not sure if it's people talk about the leaders, but listen, some of the laymen, it's time for them to speak up. We have some whistleblowers, and that's been absolutely great. But the bottom line is these people are trying to silence you. And then we have some election interference with Zelensky coming out earlier this week of Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, basically endorsing Kamala Harris. That guy has no business, regardless of how you feel about the Russia-Ukraine war, that guy has no business endorsing a presidential candidate. We are living in dangerous times. The left wants to keep you silent so that you don't speak out. The best thing that you can do is embrace the First Amendment and continue to practice it. Guys, until next time, do not grow weary doing good. Thank you for tuning in to The Carl Jackson Show.